What's up, everybody? It is I, the one and the only Jim Foster, and I am here on the top of the world with Steve Smith. Steve Starkiller Smith has, of course, joined me because who can tell you about that awesome royalty-free music better than he can?
Nobody can, but that's okay because nobody can do a lot of things that you can do. And of course, we're talking about not just Steve Starkiller Smith. We're talking about Techno Acts royalty-free music. This thing, this place has the music that other places just wish they had. Just like a lot of places wish they had Steve Starkiller Smith. Techno Acts royalty-free music. Like and subscribe.
So, anyways, I'm sure everybody's wondering, where has Jim Foster been for almost a month now? Let's see, 2 weeks, so about 16 days I've been absent. So we're gonna kind of do a little murdering a kayfabe, but I just kind of want to bring everybody up to speed. I got a promotion at my job, so I have been just kind of busy with that, and so for those who feel like I've stepped away or something like that, I do apologize, but I kind of had to take care of life, and I'm pretty excited about
What's that?
the thing that you do outside of e-fitting.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, but yeah, I've just been busy with life. Got a drum set, so music is kind of taking over. Uh, and well, regarding UWI and Tabloid, I guess that I should go ahead and announce the inevitable, which is that I am going to slow down activity on them. I'm thinking about just moving to everything to once a month with them, as far as like maybe just a joint show of UWI and Tabloid, just have it all happen together. So I'll finish up the Tabloid show that was supposed to be finished up 2.5 weeks ago, and I'll finish that up and then work on booking for UWI and then booking the pay-per-view in December, and then I'll just be kind of active here and there. I've got a big thing going on in NCW. And then also, I want to kind of have Mr. Steve Starkiller Smith talk about the mass exodus to the forums. This happened in the 2 weeks that I've been gone. I am aware of what happened. I'm aware of why there was a mass exodus to the forums. And I can understand why there's a mass exodus to the forums, but why don't you fill us in there, Steve Starkiller Smith?
Well, there's a couple of people who
Exodus to the forums, but
were over here checking out some of the forums. One of them is Extreme Answers. Well, there's a couple. And I guess after
to the forums,
so
but
many over here, EFED personalities, and one of them is accounts for those personalities have been kind of under attack and nuked over the case of pretty much kind of the last 2 months. But the idea of going to a forum has been mentioned time and time again. It's just now with some of these EFED accounts getting nuked. People are actually thinking, hey, we've dismissed this idea. Maybe it's not such a bad idea. I just think it's convenient that two of the sitting champions for two of the probably most prominent Facebook feds, at least on what we call our side of the spectrum, accounts got nuked. And that's Jacob DeLeon and Kelly Hackenschmidt. So Jacob kind of spearheaded, said he was gonna leave and go do that. I saw Kelly; he was able to do that. He was able to use one of the pick reps that he really wanted to use. I wanted to check it out because, of course, I was kind of calling like, "Hey, come home! Don't do this." But I wanted to see where they were going. I don't want to write something off without me knowing about it personally. And Danny Knox is there. I saw Quinn Damon put up a bio. I saw Miguel say he wanted to. James Knight put up a bio, and this is somebody who has been saying for months we should try to do it for him. But there's been a lot of drama lately. There's been a lot of hurt feelings between promoters and people picking sides and not want to pick sides. It's just a lot of stuff people don't want to deal with. I think they just want to have fun,
Right.
somewhere. And, so some of these news accounts, I'm a man of many faces and accounts. Some of mine were not left standing. Even Steve, I had to make another account for him. So when I hear a lot of this, sometimes I hear the person who plays Chris Paradise or Strong. He's always been if you quit playing with EFED accounts, just use your regular account, you won't have to deal with this stupid problem. And he's true, but I play a character, and I don't want everybody to know my business. I don't want to use my personal account. I know these people. I've seen these people, and I know what they do. And I don't want to use my personal account. I have a bunch of creepy weirdos looking at my profile and my pictures and my real life and trying to write that in a promo or whatever. I'm not doing that. Kiss my ass. And if you don't like it, then I don't know. Gather your 6 accounts it takes, and you're on the secret covenant of basement filling fat masters, and I don't know, start nuking accounts like they're the Death Star. I don't care. We're just gonna create more accounts. We're just gonna go to forums. We'll do that. We'll come back. We'll run shot. But that's what's going on. I think people are just. For me, it's what's the next challenge? I've done Facebook Feds. I got my name out there. I'm super fucking over. And now it's kind of like, okay, well, let me try something else because I've got to work with people who were the top of the league. Okay, I'm there. What's the next plateau? Let me see if I have the game to play this thing that's supposedly very different. And I've heard things, but that's all I've done, heard.
Right.
So I think, people like Kelly, people like me, especially Kelly, I think he just wants the experience to say that he wants to measure himself up, see how he measures up against people who promo like that. I'm kind of excited too because I know my own writing style is not very orthodox to Facebook Feds. So maybe I can flex that muscle. Maybe I'll learn a couple of new tricks to bring back. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I will tell you, as a guy who came from the forums are a completely different animal. I prefer them because that's where I came from. I do enjoy Facebook Feds simply because of being able to, get the notification of being tagged and stuff. That's the upside to it. Also, I've made a lot of really good friends on Facebook.
That's one thing I really like about it is because, the forum is its own static universe. And that's it. Facebook, it's almost, it's still social media. You're still hyping yourself, even though you're not in a group. You know, it's not like I can hype myself out of a group that fed because that's it.
Right. Well, you have to really, you have to work a little bit harder. Actually, I think you have to. Me personally, I always thought you had to work harder on forums. That's just how I feel. I always felt like I had to go an extra mile. I had to put in more effort. Because I feel like you can kind of skate by, and I feel like I can skate by it on Facebook. I feel like I can. That's me.
Well, a
I
lot of people say that. So what I'm hearing but not hearing, and what I'm thinking is what is it specifically where people like you come from that say that you can skate by? Like, what are the three things that you think separate technical things that separate
oh I will.
workload
Well,
between the two?
I'll tell you that a tweet is not gonna happen in the forums. It's just not gonna happen. You can't tweet. I mean, you can tweet, but it has to be like a hype thing, like where you're writing out that he's sitting in front of his computer, or he has his, phone in his hand and thinking, I mean, like to the point to where you know what the character's thinking. It's like you're writing a book.
Yeah.
And then you write out the tweet, and the tweet goes all over the internet. Of course, in the fictional world, video promos are not going to happen on a forum fed at all.
Writing descriptive, like,
You really have to, like, I mean, like to the point to where he took the cufflinks off and rolled his sleeve up to his beyond his elbow. He took off his jacket and placed it on the leather sofa. You know what I mean? Like descriptive.
I think there's a lot of Facebook betters that do that now. I don't think there's a whole lot of them, but I can definitely think of some names that are really good at painting a picture like that.
Right? Like he placed his wrist inside of his hand and cupped his wrist and popped his wrist and then taped his wrist over his palm and over his forehand and over his wrist. I mean, like really descriptive, and the tape ended just, 4 inches beyond his wrist.
When I read some of the things like that, a lot of times it's like, okay, I get you're trying to paint a picture, but it's almost like you're being. Some people are so descriptive because they want to pad their word count.
Right.
That's one thing where I think people don't want to say it because they don't want to sound elitist, or they don't want people to go after them against it. But I think people tiptoe around the all powerful like word count. Like, oh, it's not quantity, it's quality. It's not your word count, but people are like,
Right.
expecting, and I'm not saying, oh, I can beat your 4,000 word promo with an 800 word promo, but at some point, you're saying 4,000 words. How realistic is that again?
Right.
Like, okay, maybe you're doing description, you're really being descriptive of how he's walking out to the arena, but if it's taking me 25 fucking, I feel if I'm already bored and it feels like a chore reading your promo, how unrealistic is it? Like, some producer is gonna give you that amount of time to fucking bore the crowd to tears with whatever bullshit you have to say. Like, how long do you think these promos are gonna be, dude? Say your point, tell your
Right.
story, move the fuck on.
Well, like for example, I found out today. Let's see here, real quick. I found out today that in NCW, that my opponent had quit, and I had, I get last minute stuff
Who's your
for
opponent?
Kurt Angle.
Uh,
Um, and so he had quit, and I was, of course, in as a Sid Foster, and my my promo. I come to find out he wasn't there, and so let me read my promo really quick because it was that quick. Let's see here. Oh, see, is my promo even there? Okay. Jim Foster is seen sitting behind his oak desk. He looks up from the contracts and removes his glasses, closing the folder in front of him. He smirks as he leans back, addressing the camera. And then, of course, I did, my verbiage. And then Foster laughs and puts his glasses back on as the scene fades. My opponent didn't show up. I'm not going to bust my ass for that one.
I think it kind of sucks where people bust their ass. They try to produce content for people who don't produce the show, and then by the time they do feel like they're about to hit their stride, people are so there's a lack of trust or expectations or excitement where people are just like, hey man, I'll put something out for you, I guess, so you won't be mad. I won't have to hear your passive aggressiveness. But by then, the booker is disappointed, the talent's disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just don't understand why people quit, like, before they even, like, really get a match. They're like, oh, I'm leaving. Why?
Well, again, it's about interest. It's about holding people's interest. You know, from the guy who kind of works, quote unquote, the circuit and who's helped book and is currently booking. If you don't have somebody's interest or at least have them guessing what you're trying to do, they're going to get bored. They're going to go do side projects to fill up the time between them waiting on you to produce whatever content. Like I made a main event that had people are trying to guess, oh, what does this mean? I don't want to tag with this person. First of all, no one wants to tag with anybody ever. no, no one wants to do that. I get that. So what it is a keyword. I like to drop keywords and see who picks up on it. One of them is commitment. So if they're just kind of like, oh, I don't tag with people, I don't do this, I don't do that, and they don't perform because they think they know what's going to happen or they're going to circumnavigate what happens. That's okay, because in the long run, when it comes down to the decision on where the story's going, I'm going to remember where, you kind of dropped the ball. It's not on me. The ball's in your court. If you don't want to do the tag match that has these kind of vague directions and you want to play the guessing game or where we're going and you don't perform, again, don't come to me when you don't like the outcome, because the ball is in your court. And sometimes these people realize that, and you're like, you know what, taking my ball and I'm going home before I don't like it here.
Yeah, and people seem to do that a lot, and I've been guilty of it myself when I didn't like the way things were going, but that's not something I do anymore. But I've done it. I've done it,
Like before I went to DRW and I met everybody, because that was really the place where I springboarded from. I was in a place called Pro Wrestling Asylum. That was a cult of kayfabe that Joel Silly ran. And when he stopped running that and a couple of other people did, I didn't like what happened. I just left. I didn't want to be part of it because I felt like my effort at the time. These people didn't know I was running 3 or 4 different accounts trying to prop up every storyline that place, so I didn't want to do it. So I left, and they'd be like, "Oh, come back and do this." Man, I really don't want to, because you killed my excitement for it. I'm not here to cater to your, I don't know, your delusions of grandeur that you're running this thing, because this whole time I was secretly running this thing and you didn't even know. When I went to DRW, one thing Connor told me off the bat was, a lot of people don't like the way I do things, but if you trust me, I'll reward you. And I did. And I let him do whatever he wanted with my character, and it paid off. And then it got to the point where I was like, I could continue to do this, or I can go see what else is out there. Because Connor doesn't want to tell me or certain people what's going to happen. Sometimes he's got opportunities, sometimes there's something going on. You just got to trust him. And that's one thing I think with a lot of Facebook promoters, is you got to have a level of trust. And there's some people I trust, and there's some people who I don't trust, and you want to try to do it anyway because you want to trust them. But between trust and excitement, people said that same thing about Yusuke. They didn't trust him to stick around, and rightfully so. Turns out he was just a secondary character, some dude.
So, my question is, do you see a future for Facebook vetting?
Oh, definitely. I think the forums look cool. There's certain things on it, but I think for Facebook vetters, some of the stuff is intimidating. And it's, and by intimidating, I mean there's like some buttons and plugins and all sorts of things that you can do that other people are doing that you don't have to worry about when you're in Facebook. You want to post a picture, boom, push this button, picture. There's a lot of freedom. It's a super easy interface. It's a definitely organic environment. I think Facebook, and the fact that, some accounts got nuked, and there's, let's just go ahead and say it, there's people who didn't want to see people have those accounts and be in the spots they were in.
Well, I think one of the ones that bothers me the most, and you would think that Jacob DeLeon would be the first one, because everybody knows. I mean, like I said, we're gonna just murder kayfabe. Everybody knows I'm Chris DeLeon as well as Jim Foster. Okay, but you figure the first one that would bother me would be Jacob DeLeon. That's new. That's a new thing. The one that bothered me the most was Sebastian Morningstar. That was just ridiculous. I mean, like, that dude got reported like 4 or 5 times before he.
Well, here's the thing. Sebastian worked the community. He really did. He worked me. Straight up worked me. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm giving props to my dude. But I think over the last, like, maybe 3 or 4 months, he kind of, like, stopped so much. Because, he had a bad rap of being a bad person. And he actually isn't. He's actually a cool guy, but he just had so much heat. And even when it wasn't time to be kayfabe, he was just always dedicated to that character.
And rightly so.
Yeah, rightly so.
He wanted to, like, Sebastian Morningstar turns on and doesn't turn off.
Does not turn off. And they get worked. Every booker everywhere gets worked about him.
It's called being butthurt.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking getting worked. And he knows how to push people's buttons, especially on the administrative side of things. you don't know how to run a Fed. Yo, these people are below me. How come I don't instantly have a title shot? He doesn't even need to show up for the title shot. He probably won't, because the thing is him winning a bunch of titles and doing all that isn't his thing. He doesn't really care about it, because if he did, he'd probably be the champion of a whole bunch of places. But
He'd be the champion of Europe, is what he'd be.
He's the champion.
That's a WWF reference. Sorry, I just went back to who was it?
1998.
Something like that. I can't remember who that was who said that. The champion of all of Europe. Oh, Christian. I am the champion of Europe.
He is totally the champion of Europe. Now he's the champion of concussions.
Yeah, apparently he's not wrestling anymore either.
Nope.
It's sad.
First time my wife ever saw him, she went, does he have an ugly makeup on? I was like, damn.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I can't seem to go anywhere around here in the Tampa St. Pete area without running into a professional wrestler. About 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I was in Toys R Us and walking around going to look at the wrestling toys and see what they had and see if I needed anything or wanted anything. Guess who comes walking down the aisle? Not that aisle, but just like generally in the store. Woo! It was Rob Terry.
Oh, snap.
Dude is fucking huge. Dude is so big. It was, I mean, like, I'm like, if this dude hits me, I'm done. You know? It's a big dude. I met,
If I ever went to the store to get a wrestling toy, it would be an Intercontinental Championship toy. I would go buy me a hoodie and start doing video promos.
Well, I have actual replica belts.
No, I don't want a nice one. I want the cheap plastic one. I'm gonna shake the shit out of the camera when I'm doing it too. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk like this, and then I'm gonna start talking like this.
And then after I'm done talking like this, I am going to talk like this. And when I am done talking like this, I am going to talk like this. And then I'm going to talk like this. And then
3 people are gonna murder me when they hear this. I want to form you guys. I love you. Seriously. Don't marry me.
So anyways, the future of UWI and Tabloid is kind of going to be, it's going to just be fun. It was becoming a lot of work, which I put on myself. The UWI magazine never got done. Poor Connor McFinley never got his real chance, but he'll still get his shot. Hopefully he's still around to talk to. But, I just need to kind of slow down. I'm 44. I've been e-fedding since
Methuselah.
I think I've been e-fedding for 14 years. I discovered e-fedding shortly after I started the real life wrestling business, so
That's cool.
And I just saw it as a way to be more descriptive in my matches and to give like the wrestlers, this is what I want, and they wouldn't listen to me, so I'd go and I'd write. Like I would actually see a match on TV and I could write it out, and it always bothered people. And then I found the forums. And I actually started before that. I started in the magazines, which still, by the way, those magazines still exist.
Oh, wow.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated. You can actually win a championship belt. You can actually create your own character. And it's just like, the forums. You have to put all your moves together and everything. And you and about 3 other people in the world. The magazine feds don't work anymore. Nobody signs up for them. But anyways, yeah. UWI UWI and Tabloid. I'll go ahead and I'll finish up that show. Probably, hopefully tomorrow. It's only been 2 weeks. And then I'll go ahead and announce the show for UWI. And then I'll go ahead and I'll, of course, probably just be active as a performer. And I'm not sure where I'm going to go from there. Music has really become very important. I have a drum set at home now, and, I'm thinking of forming a band, and, wrestling will always be a part of my life because I was a professional wrestler, but I think it may be time that the old man steps away from e-fetting. I'm not really sure yet. I'm not final on that. I think Chris DeLeon has seen his better days, and Jim Foster and Order and Chaos may be something that I just need to move forward with alone and not be a Fed owner anymore, as much as I like being a Fed owner. I think if I worked with somebody else, it'd be much better. I just don't want to give up the EWI or Tabloid name. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do as far as that goes, but just know that moving forward, if you don't see me on Facebook for a week or two, I'm busy with work and music. Speaking of
following your passions.
Speaking of music, right here on Booking with Jim Foster, I will announce that before year's end, I will be back on the radio because I now have Fridays and Saturdays off. So Friday nights, I will most likely go back to being on the radio.
Congratulations.
Yep. Yeah, I just have to get the right plugins.
Nice.
So, well, Steve, why don't you tell us about this amazing music we're hearing?
Well, speaking of music, if you go to royalty-free music, Techno Acts, they have 1,116 different royalty-free tracks that you can use on your own podcast, just like we're doing right now. And new music is added daily. Different types of music. Techno music, rock music, country music, music that you'll listen inside of a fishbowl while eating Kelly Hackenschmeck brownies and blowing your mind into the Milky Way. Techno Acts, like and subscribe.
I have to say, I really, really like your profile picture.
Thank you.
That's very... The report this.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about doing it as like an Alex Sharp meme, and I was like, nah, I'm going to use the Mundo.
Well, ladies and germs, and dogs and cats, and viral infections.
Mass hysteria.
I am Jim Foster.
And I am Steve, the Star Killer Smith.
And we have been in your ear hole
Blowing your mind.
For a good 30 minutes now, I think. So
that's 30 minutes of your life.
You'll never have another 30 minutes like this.
You'll try to recreate it, but it won't be as good.
It won't.
It won't.
And I can guarantee that.
No matter how big the next 30 minutes is.
It'll never be as good as this 30 minutes.
It won't.
So for Steve Starkiller Smith, I am Jim Foster. You've been listening to Booking with Jim Foster. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Say goodnight, Steve.
Buy my shirts.